Hello, everyone. Welcome to Concafras Global Webinar. Our event will begin shortly, and you feature participants from many countries. I'm here in US. Welcome.
Hello, Rafael. Hello, friends. We are so glad that you are here to start today's program. How about we tune in our hearts and minds and listen to some good Spiritist music? We invite the Christian Joy team to lead us in this moment.
Come, good team.
Volar por la inmensidad del cielo, evolucionar y mejorar, dejar atrás el hombre viejo que hay en ti, buscar la luz del amor, y el mundo en paz vivir así, tratar el bien y cosechar las flores, un jardín de luz que se esparce por ahí. Explosión constante de un amor sin fin. Yo quiero ver, yo quiero un nuevo amanecer, lleno de paz, amor y sol. Con miradas llenas de esperanza y luz, vivir así es mucho mejor para cambiar el mundo entero. Necesito cambiarte a mí primero. Volar por la inmensidad del cielo, evolucionar y mejorar, dejar atrás el hombre viejo que hay en ti, buscar la luz del amor, mi mundo en paz vivir así, plantar el bien y cosechar las flores, un jardín de luz que se esparce por allí, explosión constante de un amor sin fin. Yo quiero ver, yo quiero un nuevo amanecer, lleno de paz, amor y sol, con miradas llenas de esperanza y luz, vivir así es mucho mejor para cambiar el mundo entero. Necesito cambiarte a mí primero. Chururú, chururú, chururú. Chururú, chururú, chururú. Hola.
Hello, welcome everyone to the Concafras Global Webinar. Our event will begin shortly with a program that has been prepared with lots of love and great care. We reminded you that you can interact with us through chat. I saw some people interact with us. I love that. Send us your message and also let us know where you are joining us from. Okay? So
That,
type your name and your location and send me a hug. I like hugs. Okay?
yes, that's right, Rafael. A virtual hug, right? For
Yeah.
sure. So, all right. So while we wait for our official start, full of interesting content we have reserved this time for all of us. Let's continue harmonizing in this beautiful vibration, and let's listen to some more wonderful spiritist music. We invite the Christian Joy team again to join us with one more uplifting song. Let's go.
A revoar! Wow! This we are in an international webinar, right, Veronica? And you know
Yes,
what?
that's right, Rafael.
Yeah, I'm here listening Spanish, French, and speaking English. But although we don't understand much about the song, we can feel the vibration, right? Which is the most important. All right, Veronica, it's it's with joy that we start our programming right now.
That's right. Welcome everyone to Concafras Global Webinar. And we are going to start with an opening prayer. In preparation for our prayer, we invite the Christian Joy team one more time for one more song so that we can get tuned in for our prayer. And following the song, we invite everyone to join us in a prayer led by our brother Rodrigo from Canada.
Mhm.
Oh Maestro Jesús, enséñame a sentir, enséñame a vivir, enséñame a amar.
Take a deep breath in and out, and elevate your thoughts to the Lord, to our Master Jesus, to the spiritual friends. Thanking them for the opportunity to be here, united with so many friends from different nations in the Concafras Global Webinar. Master Jesus, spiritual friends, guide us and intuit all of us during this meeting, this beautiful event of light, where we will learn more about prayer, faith. How can we improve ourselves? How we can help each other to improve, to change, to get better. We are very grateful for this reincarnation and having this opportunity to learn about Spiritism and the moral teachings of Jesus. Please help us to absorb the knowledge, the teachings, this positive energy in this environment. Although it's not in person, but we can feel the energy, feel the positivity in our environment. Help us to enjoy this event. Help us to share this great moment, an opportunity of learning. God, Master Jesus, spiritual friends, bless us today and always. So be it.
So be it. Thank you, Rodrigo from Canada, for the beautiful prayer. And yeah, hello one more time, everyone, from so many nations around the world, this beautiful world where which Jesus is our governor. It's with joy that we are here in the Concafras Global Webinar. Concafras is a meeting of volunteers just like me and Veronica and many others that aims to promote study activities, practice of charity, and dissemination of the Spiritist teaching to everyone.
That's right, Raphael. And it is with great joy that we get together with so many people from so many different places with the same goal of studying together, improving ourselves, and thus improving all humanity.
Yes. Today, our event is bringing several nations together. And to welcome everyone, we have invited our brother Sabino Luna from Argentina to address a few words.
Olá, queridos amigos. Eu sou Sabino Antônio Luna, da Argentina, membro do Conselho Espírita Internacional da Concafras Mundial. Quero dar as boas-vindas a todos os participantes de nosso evento de luz Concafras Global Webinar. Será seguramente motivo de muita alegria e paz para os nossos corações. Abraço em Jesus.
Oh, I miss this brother so much. Thank you, Sabino. And come to US whenever you have a chance to see me, please. So every year in Concafras Global Webinar, we have the opportunity to learn a little more about Spiritism. And this year, we will deliver into a we will delve into a very important theme. We will talk about faith and how faith can have a positive impact in our lives.
That's right, Raphael. Faith is such a profound topic. And we are going to take advantage of this moment to not only study together about faith, but also put it into practice. So get ready because we will have a moment when we will join our hearts together to vibrate for our planet Earth and for all of humanity.
So taking advantage of this unity of thought, we also want to remind you that at the end of this event, we will have a spiritual treatment with passes. When we will receive blessings from the above for our benefit and for the benefit of those we love. So please prepare a container of water to be magnetized during the spiritual treatment. Mine is here. I'm waiting for
Yeah,
this pass.
I have mine here as well.
Yes.
But a little bit more than you have there. Yeah. So we will now begin our study program. Our first lecture is about the central theme of this event, faith. We invite our sister Aline Roloff from the United States to share with us some reflections about faith under the light of Spiritist teachings.
Mhm.
Welcome, Aline. The floor is yours.
Welcome to Concafras Global Webinar 2021. I am really happy to be here with you. My name is Aline. I'm from Brazil. Nowadays, I live in Long Beach in the state of California in the USA. Before we start, I'd like to invite each of you to do our initial prayer. So let's close our eyes. Imagine this moment, the figure of a Master Jesus, smiling, blessing us. Let's feel this energy around us. The energy of peace, of joy, of love, of faith. Thank you, dear Lord, for this opportunity. Please stay with our family, our friends, and inspire us to better understanding the topic of faith. and guide us to improve our own faith, to learn with our own mistakes, and look to ourselves every single time. Thank you, dear Lord, and so be it. To start, let's see what the Gospel according to Spiritist explain to us about faith. Another acceptance of the term gives us to understand that faith is the confidence we have in the realization of something and the certainty of attaining a specific end. It gives us a kind of lucidness which permits us to see in thought the goal we wish to reach and the means of getting there, so that those who have faith go forward, in a matter of speaking, with absolutely security. In either of the cases, it can give a place to the realization of great things. So here we can make a really simple reflection about faith. Imagine a mother and a father, and they have their first baby. The parents have faith that he will be walking, talking, speaking, being a good person. So that's the faith of the parents, and they believe that it's possible to that kid realize all that principal steps of life. Faith is the confidence we have in the realization of something. So when we think about faith, we just imagine about religion. But in reality, it's also the confidence that we can have in our lives to overcome any other difficulties, problems, and continue the study on the Gospel according to Spiritist. We have this word unshakable faith. Unshakable faith is that which can stand face to face with reason in all epochs of humanity. And what is the consequences of the exercise of faith? What is the faith, practice faith in our daily life can bring to us? The clear and precise idea which can be formed of a future life provides unshakable faith in what is to come. This faith places enormous consequences upon the moralization of man because it completely changes the point of view as to how life on earth is regarded. And this is like, it's really, really important because as Spiritists and the Spiritism religion, we believe that we are eternal spirits. And being eternal spirits, we are here in this existence as a passage, just a moment, a life where we can keep going in progress because our spirit needs progress. And then when we understand that our life continues and that a future life provides, when like it said here, a future life provides unshakable faith in what is to come. That's why we have many books as 2,000 years ago, which is a book I want to talk about at the beginning of the Christianity. And the Christians, they went to the arena and be killed by lions with such a faith because they believe the life does not end. And they believe that all this love that Christ brought, it was of them and was able to share with them through their example. What the faith we can do in our lives? They can really have this security that our life can be better, but I need to have this faith in order to achieve my goals. And what the faith has to do with the magnetism. And the Spiritism also explained to us about it. So here we can see also continue the study on the Gospel according to Spiritism, that the power of faith can be demonstrated in a direct, in a special manner in magnet action. Through the intermediary of faith, man acts on the fluids. which are a universal agent, modifying their qualities and giving them, in a matter of speaking, irresistible impulsion. From this, it follows that whoever joins a normally great fluidic power to that of ardent faith can solely by the strength of their willpower directly toward goodness operate those singular phenomena of healing and other occurrences known in older times as miracles, but which are nothing more than the consequences of a law of nature. This is the reason for Jesus say to his apostles that if they do not cure, it was because they had no faith. So here, as we can see, magnetism and faith, they are also working together. So we start to see two different aspects of faith. First, the faith that we can realize something, that we can concretely do something, can be material or spiritual. We also saw about that, what is the consequence when we practice faith in our lives. We have the security, we know that nothing bad will happen to us. And now we are learning about the magnetism. By studying the Spiritism, we know that everything there is an explanation. For the moment, for the epoch, was understood as miracles. But now we can start to understanding a little bit and say that everything God creates, everything happens, follow a certain law. And in this case, we have the law of nature. And that's why Jesus said to his apostles that if they do not cure, it was because they had no faith. And what is this profitable faith? So this is also continual on the study of the gospel according to a Spiritist. We have, in order to be profitable, faith must be active. It must not become benumbed. Mother of all the virtues related to God, it has a duty to attentively keep watch over the development of the children it generates. Here is the key word, must be active. So it's important to have faith and believe that we can realize something. It's important we have faith as we see that we have the security and the confidence that something good is going to happen. We can use our faith and believe that our life does not end in here. And also we know that the magnetism is walking together with faith. And here I also compliment and say we have this on the Spiritism through passes. And in here, when you say must be active, means that we need to also practice the charity. My beloved children, but a short while ago, I said to you that the charity without faith is enough to maintain social order among us men and women and be capable of making them happy. He could have said that charity without faith is not possible. In fact, generous impulses can present themselves even amongst those of no religion at all. Nevertheless, another the charity which can only be practiced with abnegation and the constant sacrifice of all selfish interests can only be inspired by faith, because nothing but faith can give humanity the courage and the perseverance needed to carry the cross of terrestrial life. Look, this is like such a deep understanding, such a deep knowledge that the gospel according to Spirit has been bringing to us. And here to have a better understanding, I will try to summarize for you a case when I was taken from the book Tales and Apologues from the author Brother X, and the psychography by Francisco Cândido Xavier. And the situation is that will look at the importance of linking faith to the practice of goodness. In this story, we have a lady, and she was really devout, and she go to her room every day, every single day, and pray to God, and be a really nice person, a really nice Christian, and always have her faith and pray to God and wait to the moment when Jesus comes to see her and to see her improvement as a person. And she do that all the time, every day, always treat her family with so much love and care. But her life at the moment was just pray and have the moment of meditation and devotion for the most of her day. She was expecting and waiting when Jesus come and receive her. And the time passed by. And one day she was surprised from that big light and bright coming, and she saw the light from the sky from her window, and it was Jesus. Jesus was passed by and was coming, but passed by her, as ignoring her. And she didn't know why, because she was always a devout person, always praying and keeping reinforcing her faith in God, her faith in that Jesus was come. And Jesus just passed by and go down there on the street to see all the people are suffer and give them love, give them his blessing. And this lady went to Jesus, look at him and say, Jesus, I was waiting for you. I haven't been in devotion and praying for you every day. She asked for Jesus, Jesus, what else can I do to follow and to receive your attention? And Jesus looked at her and said, in a few hours, a lady will bring a baby, an orphan baby, and I would like you to take care of this baby. Like a few hours later, a lady was bringing a baby, which was an orphan, and she took that baby and give care and give love and give clothes and feed the baby. And every single day she started to take care of the baby and also continue doing her devotional prayer every day. But instead of just pray, she also take care of the people who are in need on the street. And in doing her prayers, she continued to see Jesus. But at this moment, Jesus was looking at her and smiling at her. So this is like a really simple tale, but that makes us understanding that what Jesus wants from us is that we use our faith to do something good, to use our power will to help others. And we also can use this faith to help ourselves, because with having faith, we can do great things. A serenade and receive this blessing from this amazing webinar. Close our eyes in this moment. Thank you, dear Lord, for the opportunity to learn and reflect about faith. Please stay with us during all the moments, all the difficulties. We are just a small piece in this world, but help us use our faith to do great things. Thank you, dear Lord, and so be it. So this was our discussion for today about faith. I hope this brings you a little bit of joy, a little bit of peace, that peace of Jesus be with you and your family. So guys, thank you. Bye.
Thank you, Aline. What a beautiful lecture on faith. It was really enlightening for all of us.
Mhm.
Raphael, it looks like also that people really enjoyed this lecture, and I see that there are some comments in the chat. Shall we go there and take a look at it?
Yeah, let's see what people are thinking about our beautiful webinar. All right, let's see. So, Anna Ellinger. Greeting from Salem, Massachusetts, USA. What a joy to be here with folks from so many different places. May the peace of Jesus warm our heart.
Yes, that's
Thank you,
right.
Anna. What else?
Yeah. Let's take a look at the next one from Bill. Hello from Columbus, Ohio, US. Looking forward to this webinar. Yeah, we also were
Mhm.
looking forward to be here today. It's great. It's great to be here with everyone. Not only live, right? But people who be able to watch this after as well. Right? So
Mhm.
it's amazing. Thank
Yeah.
you.
We see here Larissa from Canada. Oh, maybe she's near you, Veronica. Right? Who
Yeah.
knows? But
Yeah, that's right.
I see somebody from London. I wanna.
From
Is
London,
there?
Ontario. Yeah, that's right.
Ontario.
London, Ontario.
I was about to tell Jomara to say to
Oh,
send a big hug to the Queen, but she's Ontario, not
oh
even
no,
close.
Jomara here is from London. I think it's from London, UK. Yeah, the UK.
Is all right. Send a big hug to you and to the Queen, please. Yeah, I wish
Yes, that's it.
I could hug her. Yeah.
All right. Yeah, we have one more here. Karen, beautiful lecture. Thank you, Aline. Yes, we thank Aline for this beautiful lecture and for
Yeah. You.
remind us, right, how faith is such an active act, right? And how much spiritism teaches us to have this not only reasonable faith, but actually an active faith that move us forward, that make us make good things in our lives, for sure.
That's right. That's right. So now we will proceed to our second lecture entitled Prayer. Veronica, for you to know, prayer is such an interesting topic. The Gospel, according to Spiritism, explain that through prayer, humans call to themselves the concourse of good spirits who come to uphold them in their good resolution and inspire them with good thoughts.
Oh, that's great. So let's learn a little bit more about prayer and how can we get this help from the good spirits, right? And for this study, we have our brother Publio Lentus from Canada.
Mhm.
May Jesus involve and inspire our friend.
Hello, brothers and sisters of my heart. My name is Publius Santos, and today we are here to talk about the prayer. This subject is so important that Kardec inserted in the Gospel according to Spiritism, a chapter number 27. Ask, and it shall be given, and says, should be our permanent resource of uninterrupted communion with God. Prayer is an invocation through which, by means of thoughts, man enters in communication with the being to whom he directed himself. It may be for the purpose of asking for something, giving thanks, or as a glorification. We may pray for ourselves or for others, for the living or for the dead. Prayers addressed to God are heard by those spirits who are charged with the execution of His will. All those addressed to good spirits are serving as mediators or intercessors because nothing can happen without God's wish. It's in the Gospel according to Spiritist, chapter 27. But how it works, how the prayer works, is very clear. From the maxim, whatever you ask for through prayer will be granted. It would be illogical to conclude that one can receive just by asking, and unjust to accuse providence if a request made is not considered, because it is known what is best for our own good. This is what happens to a prudent father who refused to give his son certain things which would be against our interests. So as we can see, it's not because we pray, we put our needs to God, that we're gonna get it. Sometimes not getting is the best for ourselves, for our life. We will understand this after. But what the answers for the prayers? Generally, man only sees the present moment. Meanwhile, if the suffering is useful to our future happiness, then God will let us suffer, just as a surgeon allows the patient to suffer an operation which will cure him. It's very, very clear. What God will concede if we direct ourselves to Him with confidence and courage, patience and resignation. What He will also concede are the means of resolving situations with the help of ideas suggested to us by good spirits and God's instigation, wherever we retain the merit for the decisions taken. Prayer and faith are together. It's like a man in the desert. He's almost dying, losing all the force and the hope. And he asks God a help to indicate him where to go to find water. And he got the answer. And the good spirits that execute the God's will tell him, go to this way and you find water. If this person has faith, he will find the water and say, thank you, God, for the inspiration. If not, he will say, oh, what a luck. I choose this way instead that way, and now I'm here with water. I'm a lucky man. But how to pray? This is very important. How to pray? Like a lot of words, different words, complicated phrases. Jesus clearly defined the quality of prayer. He said that when you pray, you should not make yourself conspicuous, but rather pray in secret. Do not prolong your prayers, because it is not by the multiplicity of the words that you will be heard, but by their sincerity. Before praying, if you have anything against another, forgive them, seeing that prayer is not pleasing to the God if it does not come from the heart, cleansed of all sentiments which are contrary of charity. Finally, pray with humility, as did the publican, and not with pride, as did the Pharisee. Look after your defects, not at all qualities, and if you compare yourself to others, look for what is bad in yourself. This is also in Gospel according to Spiritism, chapter 27. As we can see, how to pray is very important. It's not the quantity of the words, the quality, this feeling is the most important thing when you pray. And to clarify all those things that I'm talking about, there is one case in the book called Good News by the Spirit, Umberto de Campos, by mediumship Francisco Cândido Xavier. So there is a dialogue between Jesus and Simon Peter. Let's see. How could he not, Peter? No. Peter asked him, Master, does God hear all our prayers? Jesus, how could he not, Peter? If God hear the prayers of all beings, why are there such difference in fortune? Some people are rich, some people are poor. So if I ask with faith, Jesus, Peter, we need not forget that the world belongs to God and that we are all his servants. The works vary according to the capacity of our effort. So, Peter, we need to consider definitely that we are children and servants of God, before any other conventional title within human life. It's necessary, therefore, that we dispose our hearts to serve him well, whether as king or slave, certain the Father knows us all and leads us to the work or position we deserve. Peter was very concerned about. I said, Master, how should we interpret prayer? And Jesus said, in this incessant exchange, creatures should present to the Father, in the secret of their intimate aspirations, their desires and hopes, their doubts and bitterness. This confidence will ease to awareness of the world, restoring their energies, because God will give them of his light. It is necessary, therefore, to cultivate prayer, so that it becomes a natural element of life. Like breathing, it is indispensable that we know the sure means of identifying ourselves with our Father. However, Peter, we have observed that men do not remember heaven, except in days of uncertainty and anguishing of heart. If they are treated as cruel and disaster is imminent, if the death of the body is irremediable, the strongest bend the knee. So, since the olden days, we remembered Jesus, we remember God when we really need, when we are passing for difficult times. It is necessary, therefore, to cultivate prayer so that it becomes natural element of life, like breathing. Francisco Cândido Xavier said at times said, I cannot understand people saying that they don't pray. I wouldn't survive without a pray, because the pray revigorates us. But let's continue with the dialogue between Peter and Jesus. Simon Peter listened to the Master with a new understanding. He could not grasp an amplitude of those concepts that transcended the scope of the education he had received. But he tried to perceive the scope of those elucidations in order to cultivate the perfect exchange with the wise and loving Father, whose generous assistance Jesus had revealed within the light of his divine teaching. And Jesus said, and what have you been asking for God, Peter? Peter, like us, like me and you. He said, well, I've been imploring his goodness to smooth my path with the solution of certain material problems. However, evidencing once again his profound love and goodwill, he clarified with gentleness and conviction. That's the time Peter asked, Lord, teach us how to pray. And Jesus, raising his magnanimous spirits to the heavenly Father, and placing his love above all things, he exclaimed, Our Father, which art is in heaven, hallowed by thy name. And pondering that the redemption of the creature can never be effected without the mercy of the Creator, considering the immense baggage of human imperfections, he continued, Thy kingdom come, implying that God's will, loving and just, must be fulfilled in all circumstances, he added. Thy will be done on earth as it is in heaven, clarifying that all possibilities on health, work, and experience invariably come to man from the sacred source of divine protection. He continued, Our daily bread give us this day. In the same way, it is necessary for each one of us to free himself for the painful shackles of the obscure past through the sublime exemplification of love. Forgive us our debts, and we forgive our debtors, knowing, however, a human frailties to establish the principle of the eternal struggle of Christians against evil. He ended his prayer by saying with infinite simplicity, Lead us not into temptation, and deliver us from every evil. From thine are the kingdom, the power, and the glory forever. So be it. So I understand that we don't have much time, but here is a good thing. Go to a Gospel according to Spiritism, chapter 27. You learn how to pray, how it works, because understanding, we can do a good prayer. I hope you enjoy these moments and instigate you to go after what you need to pray. God bless us today and forever. Be with God.
All right. Thank you, Publio from Canada, for bringing great reflection about prayer. Veronica, we have people from several countries here with us. We would like to take a moment to say hello to our brothers and sisters from, let me see in the comments, from London. I say from Brazil, Eloise, hello. Who else is there?
I see someone from the UK, right? London de Jomara.
Uh-huh.
Hello,
From
from the other side of the world, right?
yeah, I see Katia from North Carolina.
Yeah.
Bill, we saw here. Hi, Katia, welcome. I
Yeah.
see Jomar from Londres, yeah. And Louise, yeah, we got a good. Hi, Bill. uh, you got good folks here, right?
Yeah.
Yes. What an important message that Publio brought to us about prayer. When I started studying Spiritism, This was one of my first chapter that called my attention and changed my mind about prayers. Very good, very interesting topic. And to me, the gospel according to Spiritism, it's like a treasure on earth that is still to be revealed to people from all over the world. That's why we are here, right?
Yeah, that's right. And the gospel can be so helpful because even sometimes when we are in such a desperate situation that we cannot even find the words to make a prayer, we can look at the end of the book in the gospel. There's a whole chapter with prayers for all types of circumstances, right? That
Mhm.
we can refer to find the words that we need, right? To calm our hearts and then find the solutions.
That's right. That's right. Absolutely right.
Yeah.
All right. So then what? You need the third moment, right?
Yes, I think it's time to move to our third talk. And
Mhm.
this talk it's very important for each one of us, but also very important for our families. Let me ask you a question, Raphael. Do you do the
Mhm.
gospel at home?
Sure, I do. Yes. Here at home, we do it once a week, Sunday mornings. But there are days the kids are too much stressed, and I sit them around the table, and we read a message together, we pray together.
Oh, that's
But
great.
I'm sure that many people in our audience haven't had the opportunity to know about the gospel at home yet. So let's invite our sister Ana Lucia from Alabama, United States of America. She's teacher here in the Spirit Center to bring us a valuable information on this topic. Welcome, Ana Lucia.
Hello, everyone. I'm Anna Oliveira, and I'm talking to you from the city of Birmingham here in Alabama in the US. So today we'll talk about gospel at home. So why Jesus in the home, right? So we know that life today is full of challenges and that our family most of the time is where we go for support, for help, right? For renewing our energies to keep on fighting those challenges. And since our family, it's a small cell of the society, then sometimes in the home we also have conflicts, right? So if Jesus is part of the family's daily life, then we know that even if there is conflict, that the settlement of those conflicts they will take place in a more respectful and mature way, and also that the vision of the people in that family it's actually going to change and actually changes for better. It becomes a little bit more positive, right? So when the gospel enters the home, like this message says, crime retreats with a clear message of good news. That is the gospel, right? That's what the gospel means, good news. Joy renews the hearts and feeds the souls. There are no more fights, no more fears, no more worries. So if Jesus Christ, it's in the home, right, as a daily presence, then peace comes to the heart and harmony comes to the world. So that's why we say peace at home, peace in the world, right? We all want peace, but if we think, where does this peace in the world start, right? And it starts with me, it starts with you, it starts in our families, right? So the peace of the world begins under the roof to which we take shelter. If we do not learn to live in peace between our four walls, how can we expect harmony of nations, right? So what is the importance of the gospel at home to mankind? So Emmanuel tells us in this message, in this book, that he believes that the importance of the gospel of Jesus in our spiritual evolution is similar to the importance of the sun in sustaining our physical life. So we know that life on earth, it's not sustained if we don't have sun. So we also need the gospel of the Christ to guide us, right, and help us through this evolutionary spiritual process. So if bringing Jesus to our homes is important, it's important for the betterment of ourselves, right? For our betterment, for the betterment of the members of our families, and then by extension is also helps to make the world a better place. What is actually the gospel at home? So the gospel at home is very simple. It's a family meeting, right? That happens at a specific time and a specific day, right? Weekly, and where the family together has an opportunity to study the gospel and also to pray together. So what is the purpose of the gospel at home? So the gospel at home has many benefits. Just building this habit of studying the gospel and also praying together as a family, it's important. But it also kind of help us clean, right, the energies around our houses, these energies that we build up or that we accumulate during the week by the things that we watch on TV, the things that we hear, the things that we think, the things that we say. But during the gospel at home, you're going to have moments of prayer. You're going to be seeking peace and union around the family members. So all of that actually cleans energetically the energy of your house. So that is also important. And who can participate? Well, anyone that is part of the family can participate in the gospel at home and should participate. Even if what let's say you are doing the gospel at home and somebody comes unexpectedly to visit you, you should invite those people also to participate in the gospel with you. So you might be thinking, wow, Anna, that's great, right? I would like to participate in this movement of bringing Jesus into my home, into, for the betterment of myself and also of the world, but I do live alone. So can I do the gospel at home, even if I do it by myself? And you can. The answer is yes. Yes, you can. Remember that we are never really alone, right? We have our spiritual friends, we have our guardian angels, they're around us, especially in these times when we're studying the gospel, when we are praying. So we can do it all by ourselves. And you might be thinking, it's not really that I live by myself, but maybe my family members have a different religions than mine, or I don't think they will be up to participating with me yet. Can I still do it by myself? And the answer is yes, right? And hopefully later they will join you, right? In this message, and Under Lewis reminds us that we, in our own houses, right, we must faithfully attend to the testimony of love that is incumbent upon us. Remember that we will answer at all times for the tenets that we embrace, for the things that we believe, right? And very soon we're going to talk about the steps of the gospel at home, and you're going to see that drinkable water or potable water is part of that. So water is a substance that sustains life too, right? We all need water. Our bodies are made of a lot of water, but water has this characteristic that is very easily energized or magnetized, right? So Emmanuel also tells us that the creature who prays or meditates, we actually externalize some power, some fluid, some energies. We emanate some energy that for right now, we don't know exactly how to measure, we cannot see, but that the water receives these energies, right? He receives this influence of, this prayer and these noble readings, and actually condenses those energies and relieves and sustains and helps and cures, right? So that water now becomes a magnetized water that can help us with our, problems. So you might be thinking, where did Gospel at Home started? Have you thought about when did the first Gospel at Home happen? And in this book here, Jesus in the Home, and you find it in English already, so it's been translated. You can actually see the first gospel, how it was. And it was actually, Jesus was at the house of Peter, the apostle, with the other apostles, and then he took the sacred writings because the conversations there were not going into a direction which was very productive or very edifying. And he wanted to call their attention, right, to the importance of those conversations at home. And he asks them, some examples of what people have to do in their professions to be able to do their work. And then he says that the home is the first school and temple of the soul. The home is the true exporter of individuals of community life. If the merchant selects his merchandise, if the shipbuilder cannot build a boat without shaping the wood according to plan, how can one hope for a safe and peaceful community unless the home becomes a better place? If we can't love the brother or sister who is right next to us and who is involved with us in our daily struggle, how can we revere the eternal Father who seems so far away? Right. So these are the words of our master, and that's how the first gospel at home came about. So if we want to do the gospel at home, how do we do it? So the process is very simple. It's important to know how the first one happen so that we can keep that simplicity and that nobility of this first gospel at home at Peter's house. So we choose a date and a time every week, and we do it at least once a week, where everybody in the family is available, right? You don't want to schedule the gospel at home around some times where you already had your family as a family. Some of you already have some activities planned. Then you can sit around the table, or some people prefer, or if you have small kids, sometimes sitting on the floor. If that's comfortable for you, that's also an option. You would have potable water or drinkable water. It can be a jar where you can split, or it can be just a glass of water. And you have the Gospel According to Spiritism, or you can have other books too, like message books, or if you have children, right, in your family, or if you have teenagers, youth, maybe you want books that are a little more easier for them to understand the messages. So maybe the Gospel for kids or something like that. And then as an option, you can start by reading a message. So it gets you ready for your initial prayer. Then you would read aloud a section of the gospel, right? So an estimation of 10 minutes of reading one section of the gospel. Some people start, they do the gospel at home by starting from page 1 of the Gospel According to Spiritism, going all the way until the end of the book every week, reading a little bit. Other people just open the book randomly and read whatever page, a small section of whatever page, it was open. Either one is fine. And then you want just to talk about, to read about 10 minutes, because the whole purpose, the most important part is really to discuss, to talk about, to study the gospel and how that message can actually um, can help you, right, in your daily struggles and to make you a better person. So that's why we don't want to spend the whole time just reading and have no time or little time for the comments, right? For everybody to talk a little bit about what they just read. If you have a message, that is related to that topic, that is more uh, suitable for kids or for teenagers, you can also talk about that, and you can also, comment that. But this is not the time for you to fight or to have a discussion, like, that is not edifying. That's not the time for put blame or to point fingers or to discuss relationships, right? You're trying to build the union and the peace in your house. You're trying to use the good news of the gospel, the message of the Christ, and see how can I be better? How can we feel stronger, more consoled, more hopeful, right? And to face all the problems in life. So after all of that conversation happens, if you want, you can listen to a little bit of music. It can be some gospel music that you like, or it can be either just classical music, some instrumental music that you can listen to as a family, so that for a short amount of time, so that you can prepare for the final prayer. Sometimes it's important that you can give roles to people. You let the family members participate. Somebody can read a little bit and then the other one. So you can take turns reading. Someone can be responsible for the initial prayer. Somebody else in the family can be responsible for the final prayer. And remember to drink the magnetized water at the end, right? Children sometimes love to be the ones actually, serving everybody the water. So if you see the time that it takes is only 30 minutes. So it's a short amount of time once a week where you can together with your family study the gospel and pray together. So to close, I would like to leave you with this verse from John 8:12 that says, Jesus tells us that he's the light of the world. Whoever follows him will never walk in darkness, but will have the light of life. So, friends, thank you so much for listening. And we want to encourage you to continue doing the gospel at home. If you already do that every week with your family or by yourself, and if you have not done it yet, if you have not started, we strongly recommend and we want to really encourage you to start doing the gospel at your home. All right. So God bless and thank you very much.
All right. Thank you, Anna, for the enlightening lecture. And I was thinking that uh, I used to use the gospel according to Spiritism with my daughter. She's 7 years old, but she wasn't too much engaged into the moment. But once I adopted the a book from May, I post in the chat. I feel that she's much more engaged with the moment. So it's very important to adapt the message to the kids, and of course to the adults. You have many options, right? And May was a high spirit that he brought to us many messages through Chico Xavier and with appropriate for kids. All right.
Yes, that's right.
So Veronica, after all we have learned today, don't you think we should take advantage of these lessons and do something good for our planet?
Absolutely, Raphael. Because as we learned in our lectures today, we must always remember that the reach of our good vibrations has no boundaries at all. So, at this moment, we invite all of you who are watching with us, who are tuned in with us now, to unite our hearts and minds in a positive vibration to create a great network of elevated thoughts involving our entire planet.
To do this, we ask everyone to find a quiet, peaceful place and sit down comfortably and get ready to share your best thoughts.
Yes, that's right. And also, following our vibration, we'll have the spiritual treatment with passes.
Good point, Veronica. Please also leave a container of drinking water nearby to be magnetized and stay around after the treatment because we have a surprise for the end. Let's get started with our vibration.
Hello everyone, my name is Peter Otao. I'm from Kenya. Today I will lead this moment of collective prayer. So I invite everyone to close their eyes, sit comfortably, and let us go together, wherever we are, to raise our thoughts to God. We thank you, O God, for the gift of this life, for the gift of this incarnation. We are grateful for the blessings you have given us. And we are also grateful for the trials that come in our ways, as we are well aware that they are blessed opportunities for work and improvement. We appreciate the opportunity to serve. We thank you for the opportunity to have each other and to be here united in one thought, together in spirit. And so, let's together ask for our planet Earth. May this entire globe get involved by the spiritual light, O God. May all lands, all forests, rivers, lakes, oceans, may the light that comes from you flood all environments on our planet. May each one of the spirits, our brothers who live here, also feel these energies, especially at this time when many are suffering. And we are here together asking for all the suffering, all the afflicted, all the desperate and lost ones. God, Father of infinite love and goodness, you are sovereignly just. All suffering must therefore have its causes and usefulness. So the reason for all the affliction we experience is atonement for past wrongs and as evidence for the future. We beg, however, that everyone find the strength to withstand the trials you have sent us. Let the light be made alive in each spirit, so that everyone can appreciate the full extent of their love and justice. Good spirits that protect us, give everyone, including us, strength to endure all trials without murmuring. Make their suffering a salutary warning for each one that adds us in experience. May it help us fight our pride, ambition, foolish vanity, and selfishness, and thus contribute to our progress. We know well, God, that you never abandon us, and that without you we can do nothing. Still, beloved Father, we pray that if it is within the possibility, ease the yoke of these sufferers. We beg you, help all these afflicted. If they cannot be spared, make them understand that they are necessary sufferings for their advancement. May they trust in God, and the future fall upon them, and they will become less bitter. Also give them strength not to succumb to the despair that will make them lose the fruit of the sufferings and will make their future position even more painful. May our thoughts, united, enfold all who are helpless, embracing and calming them. We still beg that your mercy extends to all souls who have left the physical envelope, returning to the spirit world, their true homeland. May your light shine in their eyes. May your good spirit involve them and make them hear words of peace and hope. Oh God, we thank you. May your will remain above all others. So be it. Amen.
Let's get ready for the pass and water fluidification. Please get a container with clean water to be fluidified. Brothers and sisters, it does not matter where you are, what type of hardships you are going through. Jesus is always ready to come and help us. Place yourself in a comfortable position which can make it easy for you to reach concentration and receptiveness. Breathe slowly and easily. Breathe in, breathe out. Breathe in, breathe out. Fill up your lungs with air and let it out very slowly. Let tranquility and peace energies penetrate your lungs and move throughout your body. Your soul in harmony with your body feels easy and in peace. Let's imagine Jesus' passage. A clear day, the sun's golden rays illuminate the happy passage in Capharnaum. A lot of white houses, multicolored vines, and hopping birds fill the landscape with optimism. The news about cures attracted the crowd in need. Suddenly, Jesus appears slim and handsome. His tunic was hanging down to his feet. At sunset, all those with sick people hit by several illnesses would bring them, and as he placed his hands over each one, he would heal them. This is what Luke the evangelist says. Let's imagine Jesus approaching you. He holds his friendly hands over our head. Notice that from his generous hands, a waterfall with clear and pure water originated from his love come to bathe you. It flows on your head, goes down your shoulders, bathe all your being, and brings you peace, serenity, and balance. They remove all impurities and pacify you. Feel the water bathing you, cleaning. Breathe. Now, imagine Jesus as a sun before you. His light, his warmth surrounds you. Feel the healing energy that comes from Jesus towards you. He hears your prayers. Trust him. His love is endless and it follows you and protects you. It provides you with everything you need. Have faith. Absorb the healing energy from Jesus. His light surrounds you. Feel the energy going through all your body. Feel stronger and in peace. Lord Jesus, our divine friend, reach out your generous hands, Lord, and change this water into medicine for our physical and spiritual illnesses. Protect us, Jesus, with your peace. Spread those vibrations of love throughout my home, Lord. May peace, health, and tranquility reign here. We are very grateful to you, Jesus. Stay with us today and forever. Thank God. Please remember to use the fluidified water.
Thank God, what a wonderful moment. Did you feel, Raphael, the good vibes?
Yes, and I'm here drinking my water.
That's great. Yeah, my friend. But today's event is coming to an end. But before we leave, we could not leave without talking about another
Veronica, are you there? Oh, let me
great
see.
event. Am I here? Can you
Yeah.
hear me?
Yes, we can.
Okay. So I was talking about a great event that is coming in 2021, the World Concafras, which will take place in Angola, Africa.
That's right, Veronica. We are all looking forward to this opportunity to be together, and we hope that this will be possible at the World Concafras in Angola, Africa. Let's get to know a bit more this long-awaited event.
é luz. Você vem?
Yes, I will. Yes, I will. I will certainly be there if God allow. 2024. And Veronica, you see that the Spiritist message, which starts from the generous heart of Jesus Christ, our Lord, it's being spread to all over the world, and this is the beauty about Spiritism and about Jesus Christ, right? I'm super happy when I see those videos.
Yes, that's right, Raphael. There's no boundaries, right? For love and for humanity, right? We are all brothers and sisters,
Mhm.
in spirit and in God, for sure. Yeah, I also want to be in World Concafras 2024, but until then, we have so many other opportunities to be together. For example, in about 2 months in December, there will be a wonderful event. Let's find out what it is.
Wow, what a wonderful news. We are having the Global Concafras Christmas special celebrating the coming of Master Jesus to earth. I remember last year, Christmas special was so wonderful. For all of you who want to know more about this event, please keep an eye out for more information coming up on our website www.concafrasglobal.com.
That's right, Rafael. Um, and before our closing prayer, we have one special request for you, my friends. Your feedback about today's event is very important to us. So, would you please do us a favor and take the time to fill out the survey that's on this page below on the big button saying questionnaire. Please give us your feedback. The survey is quick, less than 5 minutes, and it will help us so much in organizing our future events. Thank you very much, my friends.
Thank you. So, we are going to sing a song in preparation for the closing prayer. And next, we will have our brother Joseph Brooks from the United States. He's here from Charlotte, where I am now, to say a prayer for us. All right?
Pede descalços, mãos marcadas, moradores das calçadas, esquecidos como a própria noite. Rosto triste, olhar tão raro, na esperança de um amparo, o silêncio mostra a própria dor. Sem perceber, finjo não ver e prefiro evitar. Preciso ter olhos de ver e mãos de ajudar e amar como Ele amou. Pés descalços, mãos marcadas, Jesus Cristo nas calçadas, esquecido como a própria noite. Rosto triste, olhar tão raro, na esperança de um amparo, o silêncio mostra a própria dor. Sem perceber, finjo não ver e prefiro evitar. Preciso ter olhos de ver e mãos de ajudar e amar como Ele amou. Pés descalços, mãos marcadas, Jesus Cristo nas calçadas, esquecido como a própria noite.
Mother, Father God, we give you honor, we give you glory and praise. We thank you for this night, we thank you for this day, we thank you for your blessings that you bestow upon us today and always. We thank you for the future graces and blessings that we know are coming our way. We pray for our families, we pray for our friends. We thank the good spirits and benefactors that are here as we are praying. We are guided by our benefactors. We are guided and supported by our guardian angels. We pray for the suffering spirits that may be here, that need this great teaching of Spiritism. We pray that you guide them, God, to the light, because only light could dispel the darkness. We pray for your healing mentally, physically, and spiritually. We pray for those who are struggling in all forms, whether it be mental, physical, as well as spiritually. We pray for those who are obsessed, those who are sick, those who are in hospitals, those who are in prisons. We pray for the homeless. We pray for all the spiritist centers of the world and all the great faiths of the world that are doing the good work. Lord God, we pray that we will have a great webinar Saturday, and that the high and good spirits and Mary, Mary, and all the great saints will be there. We pray for peace on this earth. And we pray, Lord God, that you will teach us and help us remember to love one another. For only love is the key to success. Love is the key to salvation. For only love could dispel hate. We pray all this in the name that is above all names, Jesus Christ. Amen.
All right. What
Amen.
a beautiful event. Thank you
Yours.
so much for coming, everyone. Rafael, it's been lovely being with you today.
Yes. Thank you, Veronica, and for your work. Thank you for the whole team that make this webinar possible. This is teamwork, and we are all here in the name of Jesus, in the name of the good, because one day we feel transformed by the experience of living the gospel, and we want to see other people being transformed as well, being better than yesterday. And I hope you find the light. I hope you find peace in Jesus Christ. Okay.
Yeah.
Bye
Yes,
bye,
that's
everyone.
right.
Big hug.
Goodbye, friends. See you soon. Thank you.
See you. Bye bye.